forced to make this short.
That's a first.
Which is a bitch. And if you're offended, too bad. Because, you know, how they do it on the commercials where they say,
Oh,
next thing might be
Hold that
offensive.
up to your...
mic to your face.
Yeah.
Like it needs to.
So I only have a few notes. For a year and a half, we've been going every week to in and out of hospitals. And so my favorite hospital story is Alan King. You know who he was. Jewish comedian in New York with the bald head and the cigar hanging out all the time. And he told the story about Alan King he said he had a rich man's disease, which was in the paper. It said he had a breakdown when he was in the hospital. He said, who ever heard of a plumber going up to the front desk and said, take me in, I'm having a breakdown. They only take rich guys for breakdowns. So the nurse is bugging the hell out of him continuously, and I can really identify with this one. And I'm not loud enough? Is that what you said? All right.
Adel goes, yes, you are.
Yeah. So anyway, the nurses were, you know, they come in the middle of the night, they wake you up, give you a sleeping pill. You know. Every morning they come in, how is your brekkie wecky? He says, I'm 60 years old, I don't have brekkie wecky. But, you know, they always leave that little glass for a urine specimen. So he figures one morning he's going to get her. And he puts in orange juice. She comes into the room, looks at his specimen, picks it up, says, my, we're a little cloudy today. He grabs it, he says, cloudy, let me run it through again. So,
That was good.
you ain't heard nothing yet. Don and I were babies. He had hair.
As a baby, did he really?
Yeah, I can't tell you what I lost, but Jesus, almost 40 years ago, when we first started having meetings, Wednesday afternoons and Saturday mornings for a year and a half with Jim Wiley and Jim Duff, and we were in what we call the old building, and us young guys back then wanted a new building, as well as a lot of other people did. And Wiley and Duff, and I got CRS too, besides ALS. I can't remember shit. So CRS. At any rate, they used to give us new guys occasionally some lectures about how this organization was first started, how those guys used to help each other. And I remember Wiley telling me about a guy, and he told me this too, John, who had busted his leg, and he was a neighbor in the old Mart of another guy and his best friend, and that other guy sold his lines for 2 or 3 weeks for him until he could get on his feet. And he was trying to impart, and so was Jim Duff, to us young guys, some concept of how we benefited by being a group. And so I was always kind of interested in politics, and I got involved with that building committee that we did as babies. And then I looked it up a couple of months ago. I thought I was the longest guy on the board. I had 16 years or something like that. But then it turned out, I found out it was actually Dick Fox,
Yeah.
if you count both names, because it used to be Fuchs. And so if you only look for Fox, I beat him. But if you go to some of the older ones, the older books, he beat me. And now I think, Don, you're caught up to me. You're damn close.
I'm way ahead of you.
You're way ahead of me. We're not talking about money here, Don. So, at any rate, Umaga has been really, really a central part of my life for more than 35 years. And the way I beat everybody else in numbers on board is that I married the girl who was the first female president, who, if you combine us now, we got 24 years on the board. And she, of course, is my best friend. She's dragging my sorry butt around for quite a while, and also cleaned up my act as a person and made me a better guy than I would have been without her, by a long shot. So right then and there, Umaga is important because, you know, my soulmate, I met her in this building. My son, Jason's sitting here, and Molly, my stepdaughter, they grew up around this building. Jason just told me not too long ago that him and his brother, when we used to set up, when they were 10 years old, were out in the lobby at night, in the afternoons and the night times, jumping from couch to couch on those old furniture that we used to have out in the lobby. I would have killed them if I had.
Very durable.
A real thing I wanted to tell in part tonight was that I've always felt that nobody understands what any of us do except us. There's 10 million people in the 5-state area, roughly. There's only about 140 at most showrooms. And those are the only ones. It doesn't matter if you're in a golf club, a yacht club, a social organization, a civic organization, a religious organization, whatever you spend your time in other than this place. Nobody knows. You're always going to explain it, except for the members here. They know what it is, you know, to do the shows, to make the appointments, to have them broken by the buyer didn't show up, to walk the aisles of the national shows and look for lines, to find out that you might be losing one, to hire and look for good salespeople, to lose good salespeople. Nobody knows except the 130, 40 people who are the leaseholders here. So I've always spiritually felt closer here than any other of the many groups that I'm a joiner. You know? No other people did I have to explain how it is to make a living with a pen that has a feather on it. Or I was thinking the other day,